Welcome back to our afternoon session. You are on board track 2, Resources, Technology, and Products for Crisis Management Research Presentation. Before we start, we would like to share what transpired in earlier session. So we had 7 research presentations all the way from Southern Lady State University, Northwest Summer State University, Department of Education, Visayas State University, and Summer State University. We would like to say thank you to our evaluators, Engineer Chidoro Amatosa, Professor Jonas Villas, and Engineer Mirador Labrador for giving this kind of opportunity to all of us and for gracing this event. We would also like to acknowledge the presidents of Eastern Visayas universities and colleges, our collaborators, namely the Northwest Summer State University, headed by Dr. Benjamin L. Picayo, St. Paul's School of Professional Studies, headed by Dr. Erwin Vincent G. Alcala. We have the Biliran Province State University, headed by Dr. Victor C. Canezo Jr., Eastern Summer State University, headed by Dr. Edmundo A. Camputo, Eastern Visayas State University, headed by Dr. Dominador O. Aguirre Jr., Lady Normal University, headed by Dr. Jude A. Duarte, Calompon State Institute of Technology, headed by Dr. Norberto C. Olavedes, Southern Lady State University, headed by Dr. Pros Ivy Yapis, University of Eastern Philippines, headed by Dr. Cherry Ultra, and Visayas State University, headed by Dr. Edgardo E. Tulin. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir. At this point in time, we're about to continue with our 4 research presentations, as it will be started with the research title, Portland Cement Pervious Concrete PCPC as Boulder Substitute of Gabions for Streamback Erosion Control from the Department of Public Works and Highways of Southern Leyte, Philippines. I give you Christopher C. Arbiol.
Welcome to our second International Conference on Poverty Alleviation and Sustainable Development, the iPOVCON 2020. I am Engineer Christopher C. Arbiol from the Department of Public Works and Highways, Southern Leyte District Engineering Office, and studying PhD in Southern Leyte State University in Sorsogon. I am here to present to you the Portland Cement Pervious Concrete as boulder substitute of gabions for streambank erosion control. The geographical location of the Philippines makes it one of the most disaster-prone in the world. On average, the country is affected by about 20 tropical cyclones a year, super typhoons, long rainy seasons, and damaging earthquakes that resulted in landslide and uncontrollable volume of water at rivers, a massive environmental destruction. The most common problem in today's waterway system. Portland cement pervious concrete that will substitute boulders, bridge all the gaps to the existing backbone. This sequential two-phase approach was done by creating a desired mix and incorporating a gabion system. Considering for this study, it involves area identification, the design of the function of the site, then testings, and after that, the gabion system with PCPC glass boulders. Determination
Just for the technical glitches. Once again, we are the track 2, Resources, Technology and Products for Crisis Management. It is a strand that shall cover the different resources used to develop technologies and products that help mitigate the adverse effects of crisis. For the criteria for judging, For the best oral presentation, we have here the technical, originality of idea, 10 points, appropriateness of methodology, 20 points, potential for the creation of new or advancement of knowledge and evidence of benefit to the area covered by the research, 10 points, anticipated outputs, outcomes, and impacts of the research, including potential contribution to economy and social benefits, 10 points, quality of technical paper, the quality For the actual paper presentation, we have here the presentation, overall impact on the audience, understandability, concise reporting within given time frame, 10 points, format presentation, clear description of the research, follows given format, 10 points, researcher, salesmanship, knowledge on the project, and communication skills, 20 points for a total of 40 points with its grand total of 100 points.
In SIG number 4.75 mm and past SIG 9.5 mm. Determination of physical properties of cement. A total of 100 gram sample was used for density using ESTM C 188-95 and 50 grams for fineness test using 75 micrometers, or that is SIG number 200, following the ASTM C 184-94. The preparation of mixes for previous concrete design. 12 trial mixes designed with 3 samples each were tested for compressive strength using a universal testing machine, and 12 samples for permeability, porosity, and specific gravity. ASTM C 192 and ASTM C 138. Compression samples were tested according to an ASTM C 39-05. The determination of specific gravity, water absorption, and porosity as per ASTM C 138. Permeability of pervious concrete was determined using a falling head for our PCPC mix design. The physical test of aggregate resulted in 2.753% for water absorption and 2.536 grams per cubic centimeter for the specific gravity, while the hydraulic cement had a density of 3.13 and 97% cement fineness. For the compressive strength, it was identified through this study that with treatment water ratio design, the percentage of cement played a vital role. The more percentage of cement in the mix, the higher its compressive strength. This graph shows that the higher aggregate cement ratio on the same amount of water added, the higher its compressive strength. In this graph, it shows that the lesser the water cement ratio, the higher its coefficient of permeability. In this photo, the design mix A3C1C31 having a compressive strength of 9,300 kilonewton per square meter, or that is 1,348.85 psi, a specific gravity of 2.362, a density of 1,752.68 kilogram per cubic meter, and 2.894 coefficient of permeability K with a porosity of 25.56%. A3C1C31 was chosen to be the suitable mixture of Portland cement previous concrete as boulder substitute of gabions for stream bank erosion control. The second step is the incorporation of our Portland cement previous concrete design to be the boulder's substitute of gabions. Production of Portland cement previous concrete blocks. Materials were weighed following the A3C1C31 mixture. Aggregates were scattered all over the mixing board, approximately at the same depth using a shovel. Cement materials were added evenly to the aggregates and thoroughly mixed with a shovel until cement powder coated all aggregates. Water was comprehensively sprinkled to the mixed materials until the mix became homogeneous. Its mold was filled with 2 equal layers and uniformly rounded each layer with 25 strokes over the cross-section throughout its depth. After the last level of concrete, the concrete was stamped 3 times using the tamping pad at a reasonable force. Steel molds were removed in a precocious manner to avoid damage the new concrete filler. The specific gravity of Portland cement produced concrete following the ASTM C127-04 was 2.318 and a density of 2,093.4 kilograms per cubic meter. Compression test of the PCPC blocks. The average compressive strength was 11.88 megapascal. The water pressure test was done by a fire truck to measure how the Portland cement produced concrete withstand the water force. The test was conducted at the minimum to maximum pressure fire truck at 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees angles in 3 minutes of every application, with the maximum water pressure of 125 pounds per square inch. The block shows no signs of failure. Incorporation of purchased concrete as fillers on gabion system. The foundation on which the gabions will be placed was cut and graded to the lines and grades. Geotextiles or the filter cloths were placed between the earth surface and the gabion structures after the foundation preparation was completed. The cleaners carefully filled the gabion basket with PCPC fillers in a hand-laid manner. No time the cell was ready to a depth exceeding of 2 layers, more than the adjacent cell. Results and discussion. Compressive strength of PCPC blocks. Resembling the two-sim A3, C1, C31 to the production of PCPC blocks with an addition of 3 strikes of tamping pad to level the top, increase the compressive strength. The average density of gabions with PCPC blocks as fillers was 2,093.4 kg per cubic meter, making the structure more massive than the conventional gabion structure. The regular size and shape of PCPC blocks as gabion fillers enabled it to fit the regular size of the gabion basket. The rough texture finish of the product and snag fit formation increased its friction between blocks, thus restraining the blocks to slide, which is the main reason for the structure to bulge. For the conclusion, there were 3 points that were considered. First is the material characterization. The material characterization showed that Portland cement produced concrete is typically lesser than those of traditional concrete. However, compressive strength of 11.88 megapascal or 1,723.05 psi and 2.894 coefficient of hydraulic conductivity are clear signs that PCPC blocks are an excellent substitute of cobblestones as gabion fillers. The snag fit formation it created to the gabion basket made the structure more massive. The second point is the aesthetical and structural performance. Portland cement produced concrete in blocks as gabion fillers fill all the gaps that the cobblestone lacked. Due to the uniform size and shape of the PCPC filler, the structure did not bulge. Its appearance of uniformity and alignment was maintained while improving its structural performance against all possible pressures that can cause damage to the structures. For a conventional 1 meter by 1 meter by 2 meter gabion structure cost only 7,377.66 Philippine peso for the fourth quarter of 2019. And the table shows that PCPC blocks as gabion fillers cost 12,751.30 Philippine peso. This difference of 5,373.64 from a conventional gabion structure makes the innovation more expensive, but it is more effective and more efficient while promoting to combat the depleting source of boulders and cobblestones. Finally, the gabions with Portland cement produced concrete in a design mix of A3, C1, C31 as boulder substitute served as bridge abutment protection at Cantoring Bridge, Maasin City, Southern Leyte in the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Sir Orbiol. At this juncture, we're about to hear some comments about the research presentation from Engineer Amatosa. Sir, what can you say about the presentation? Take it away, sir, in 5 minutes.
Okay, good afternoon once again. First, congratulations, Engineer Christopher. Is the presenters listening? I think. All right.
Sir Christopher Orbiol, are you around po?
Hello?
Yes, po. Hello? Yes, po.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here, po.
Okay. So, congratulations for your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So first, I was amazed with the data that you have presented to me. It so happened that it's not predictable to come up with that kind of strength during your test, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So my first point here is the durability of your material. This is the main issue of your presentation. Did you already test your material when it comes to microbial coating?
No, sir. No, sir. Only confession.
No?
Yes, sir.
It is just because the reason why I am asking with you with the ESTM D559, it is just because your gabion will be placed on a soil in which we cannot say that is already stable, isn't it?
What do you mean that it is already stable, sir?
Not
because-
stable, not stable. The soil, because the purpose of your material will be as replacement for the gabion, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is why I am asking if you have a test using ESTM D559 for the microbial coating in order for the microbes of the soil itself cannot penetrate to your materials, your Portland cement material in the as gabion. You did not have that one.
Yes, sir. I didn't have, because, sir, kind of basically, if that is a concrete, that is, I think the microbes for that one, sir, cannot penetrate so much because that is already a concrete. And with regards to the gabion basket, as long as it is on the standard, as per the standard of the DPWH, then that is okay, sir, I think. Hello? Hello, sir.
Engineer Matosa, sir.
Okay. Okay, so next. Okay, so anyway, we know the fact that our climate here in Regionet itself is quite sometimes rainy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, did you consider the material of your gabion when it comes to sulfuric acid?
So, no, sir, because that was not in concern to my study, because the gabion itself, sir, the gabion basket itself, it should be on the standard. So it means that if the gabion basket will be acquiring on the same standard of the DPWH of our agency, then I think, sir, no need to test for that one.
Now, on my part, it should be. Why? You are going to place outside on a climatic area.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes,
so therefore, the weather itself it is sunny or it is rainy.
Yes, sir.
My point here, why I am having the sulfuric acid, the pure materials, because the pH value, you did not put it on your presentation
Yes, sir.
upon mixing your gibbon.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. You are very right.
That is why my concern here now is to provide at least this sulfuric acid when it comes to production of your gibbon. It is just because you just only use your normal pH value. You did not consider the different types of pH of your mixing. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. So that is why those parts are my concern. So maybe time comes, you can have at least this different test for your material. It is just because, as I have said, your material is promising. Promising. Well, in fact, I do admire your material. Now, lastly, can you give me the effectiveness based on your presentation? I know that your gibbon is more effective and efficient. You told you've been discussing that one a while ago. Can you give me the effectiveness value of your gibbon when it comes to fraction? Did you test that one also?
The testing that I have done, sir, is based on theoretical, no, that gabions are just like dams, which is the strength would base on the strength of the gabions is based on its weight. Now, that gabions with Portland cement pervious concrete makes it more massive. It means mas mabigat na siya. So it means the more massive your structure is, the more it will resist the pressure at the side.
Okay. So you've
Yes,
been
sir.
telling us a while ago that it is effectiveness and efficient. Now, I am asking you now the effectiveness value when it comes to fractured mode of your data, because you
Uh, hello?
it through compression.
Yes, sir. Compression
Hello?
test, sir.
Go.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So that is why I am asking for the effectiveness for the fracture of your gibbon, of your material. Did you have that one? You have the stress strain data of your gibbon?
I don't have the strain data, sir, but I have the stress because that stress can resist around 11.28 megapascal. So that is very strong than a usual concrete, which has a minimum of 17. So that gabion, sir, is around 11.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But the strain,
So that is why I
we
am
don't have the
just
strain.
asking. So that must be included, sir, in your research, because it is very important that you can see your fracture mode of your material.
Sir,
Anyway, thank you, sir. Thank you.
you're welcome, sir.
Congratulations.
Welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sir Arbiol and Engineer Amatasa. At this juncture, we're about to proceed with our ninth presenter. He came from Somerset State University with his research title, Water Extracting System from Atmospheric Air Using Condensation Process. Let's welcome Vincent Tua.
Good afternoon, panel of judges. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon to all. I'm Alian Vincent Chua, a second-year BSET student, and I'm here to tackle about the research that is called Water Extracting System from Atmospheric Air Using Condensation. Since we're dealing with water, let me first tell you what is the importance of water. We all know that water is one of the important substances needed and humans in general. There was no water, there was no life on Earth. Aside from food, clothing, shelter, and nutrition, water is also one of our basic needs. Before conducting this research study, me and my partner, a fifth-year BSECE student, made research questions that are relevant to our topic. First is, how do we act if this happens to us? Next is, does it affect our economic growth? And how crucial is safe water to us? Presenting to you our device, water extracting system from atmospheric air using condensation, a device that uses condensation as a process of generating water from air. So objectives. The primary objectives of this study is to generate water through the process of condensation. Next is evaluate the device for its functionality. Review of related literature. According to the works of filter device by 2017, the works on water generator, they said that it is possible to extract water out of thin air. And also, it is possible that the extracted water can be a good source of drinking water. So the device consists of fan, thermoelectric cooler, copper tube, wires, and a power supply. So this is how it works. A power source gives power to the TC and DC fan. And by the use of TC and DC fan, it lowers the temperature, or it cools the interior of the container, leaving moisture or water vapor in the spiral tube. And since it is also good for drinking purposes, there must be a filtering section so that dust particles would not be present. Summary of research. It is unique because the device provides a unique way of generating water. By the process of condensation, the condensation can be and droplets. In comparison, the device will not be placed down, just like the studies, innovations, inventions, and research. Analysis is suitable for urban and rural areas as well. Results and discussion. It works. It only needs 12 volts for it to function. The measurement generates 350 ml for 7 hours, and that 350 ml of measurement can be compared to the commercially available products like Nature Spring that can be bought in stores. And pH bottle. We've used pH bottle to test its acidity in phase 1. And if the water or our product changes its color or moisture appearance, then it is not suitable for drinking. But luckily, it didn't change its color appearance and moisture, then it has pH acidity in phase 1. So some of the main factors that causes the generation of water are temperature, relative humidity, and dew point temperature. So the temperature is the hotness or coldness around us. Relative humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air. And dew point temperature is the temperature wherein air must be cooled to become saturated. So take note, hotter temperature produces more relative humidity. So conclusion. Therefore, the researchers conclude that this device can be a game changer to lessen the water shortage. Also, just like the AUWG, or the atmospheric water generator, the World Health Organization said that this device can contribute to poverty alleviation. Environmental impact. The product is environmental friendly. It does not produce or emit chemical substances like chlorofluorocarbon that can harm or damage the environment. Recommendation. The research needs more detailed experiment and lab testing. Due to the occurrence of COVID-19, the water should have been tested in Tacloban City, but unfortunately, the school and the city doesn't permit students to go outside of the city. Next is additional materials. The supplemental device for the upgrading of the product was not shipped or delivered due to the restrictions that was imposed by the government. Next is the product can produce more, like 350 ml, just like what I've said previously, the product can produce more water than a 350 ml of water. And as a researcher, I say that this device could be a key to the better future. And that is all. Thank you. Good afternoon, panel of judges. Good afternoon, viewers.
Thank you so much, Sir Vincent Chua. At this point in time, we're about to hear some comments or thoughts from Professor Jonas Villas. Sir, what can you say about the research presentation? Take it away, sir, in 5 minutes.
Hello. All right. Thank you. Vincent for having this innovation for that matter. And I can see the motivation on why is it necessary to come up with this portable air or portable water extracting system device using the condensation process. Now, can you enlighten us, for example, as to the possible cost of the device? That's one. Second, also, what would be the practical significance of this device to the nature of the region for that matter? And how would this device would have different, let's say, water quality when the device is used in other areas or polluted areas for that matter? Vincent? Or will it affect the potability of the device should the device extract water from an area that is quite a bad air pollution?
Yes, sir. Vincent Chua. Sir Vincent, are you around po? I think, sir, he got disconnected po. Sir Vincent? Professor Villas, perhaps we could proceed to the next presentation. So we could just cater with your questions regarding with the presentation of Sir Vincent Chua later on. Thank you so much po.
Thank you.
At this point in time, we're about to witness another research presentation coming from Northwest Summer State University. His paper titled Development of Hybrid Data Analytics System for Universities. I give you Irvin Rodriguez.
Good day, everyone. Since the beginning quarter of the year 2020, the pandemic transformed the management of work in the lives of people differently. Most of the usual transactions were being conducted online, such as buying and selling of goods of daily necessities and even self-health monitoring. In fact, most of the different sectors like agriculture and education and more has applied moving its operations online. Somehow the internet and online systems have likely become a necessity. To allow and continue the operation effectively, the new normal way of conducting transactions required the office heads and the administration to handle its management in a distant location. However, the decision-making insights must still come from an analysis generated from the relevant existing data of the organization. Pearsman of 2014 emphasized that it is essential to make maximum use of existing data, an example, using data analytics system. Meanwhile, private and government schools and universities have also started using data analytics. The boundless possibilities of data analytics are already in the grasps of the people in the world. The general objective of the study is to develop a hybrid data analytics system for universities. Specifically, it aimed to answer the following. What are the problems encountered in the current and future data utilization and system operation? What hybrid data analytics system will be designed and developed along with the administration HR core systems? What is the performance of the developed prototype of the system? For the methodology, the study applied a developmental type of research. It employed one-to-one interview, FGD, and observation to achieve the following, and that is, to identify the problems of the current and future data utilization and the system operation. and to design and develop the prototype of the system. It used ISO IEC 9126 Software Product Quality Model as the basis in the development of the survey questionnaire for evaluating the prototype of the system. Agile software development method was utilized. They also made use of KNN classification algorithm concept through PHP string libraries and JavaScripts for the recommender system functionality like descriptive data analytics. The system prototype was developed using a server-side scripting language, MVC framework, and web packages or libraries for the descriptive data analytics. For the result, in this figure, it shows the summary of the identified problems encountered of the current data utilization, arranged or ranked according to the highest to lowest percentage of weighted score. The result shows that most of the common problems are in securing and managing essential and critical and crucial reports. In this figure, the result shows that the most common problem of the future data utilization is more on the ease of the accessibility of historical data and how that data would provide a reliable report to support future transactions and critical decisions. In this figure, the result shows that the most common problems in the system operation is the traditional and manual way of conducting transactions and its high possibility to be overridden, ignored, or even altered illegally. Hybrid data analytics system designed for administration HR core systems. In this slide, it presents the difference between the current way of conducting the transactions of the office and the developed prototype of the system. The significant difference between the two is that the newly developed prototype is capable to be done online, responsive, or accessible in different devices and integrated to a cloud database and cloud file storage or cloud file server. Develop system prototype and its solutions. Records are stored in a database and file server in the cloud. Easy searching and filtering of records, centralized consolidation of data, automated dissemination, email notification enabled, pop-up badges reminder enabled, easy download upload of files, with responsive and 100% worldwide accessibility, recommender system functionality enabled, and with descriptive data analytics system capabilities. Performance of the developed prototype. A 5-point scale range and verbal interpretation was used to interpret the system evaluation of the three different users, namely regular user, RSP personal users, and L&D personal users. The result shows that the capability of the system to meet the requirements of the users per module is highly acceptable, with homogeneity response, high extensive condition, and functioning excellently. For the conclusion, the system operation was improved in the efficiency of the transaction and is highly considered timely amid pandemic. There was an improvement in the reliability of the data, thus supporting both simple and critical decision making of the management. A high possibility of a solution to the problems encountered in the current and future data utilization and system operation if the proposed system will be implemented in the university. For the recommendations, the researcher recommends that the evaluation of the software should be re-evaluated using the latest ISO standards of software engineering using ISO IEC 25010-2011 system and software product quality standards to further improve the quality of the software before it will be fully implemented. The researcher recommends that this study be utilized as a basis for conducting similar studies. To end my presentation, please allow
Thank
me
you
to
so
read.
much, Sir Irvin L. Rodriguez. At this juncture, we're about to hear some comments regarding with your research presentation. We have here Professor Jonas B. Villas. Sir, what can you say about the presentation earlier? Take it away, sir, in 5 minutes.
Hi, good afternoon. Are you still with us, sir?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, all right. I think one issue here that I would like to emphasize although without prejudice to the fact that there is a great utility on access to information, particularly these days. Now, in fact, personally, it's difficult for me to access information in the office when I am at home. And putting it in cloud would be much easier. But can you tell us about the security features of this particular system that you are developing to ensure that data are actually protected, considering that this is actually a university data for that matter?
Yes, sir. Actually, the cloud server that will be acquired has already the feature to encrypt, or one of the feature is to encrypt all the information that will be fed to the server. And there are I think several firewalls that will be installed, set up, or configured for the system for the security of the data.
All right, so that's for the server provider. On the part of the university, would you have other recommendations to ensure that should the server will be jeopardized? Because we've seen historically in the past that there were cloud servers that were actually accessed inadvertently, no? As their firewalls are not also that formidable. No? People can always innovate and look for ways to actually crack on it. So is there any mechanism that you would recommend to the university to ensure that the data that is actually being available in the cloud will be secured and will be retrieved later on?
I believe the MIS office will should have a security uh, configuration involvement, like in basically the encryption of data before it will be fed to the cloud server, and of course the backup.
All right, last question, sir. I can see that there were around 33 respondents who were surveyed for I think the issues with the existing system. May
Yes,
I know how many respondents were also considered when or in the evaluation process pertaining to the quality of the system?
I have a total of 33 respondents, including the three vice presidents of the base study location.
All right. So maybe in the future, you can include statistical testing to look at these results, and maybe you can also include other areas or other individuals who will assess your system in terms of utility, because I think the issue now is as we go into the new normal, a lot of people are already trying to get information or ask information. So before, when there is only few individuals who are allowed to access the system, right now we are experiencing influx of individual asking to access the system and get direct information. So I think that is also something that has to be considered. But nonetheless, congratulations, sir. This is quite a very good development, particularly in this current context of teaching and learning in the universities. Congratulations once again, Sir Irvin.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much, Sir Irvin Rodriguez, for responsibilities. At this point in time, we're about to preview the next research presentation all the way from Sugod National High School, Department of Education, with the research title Interactive Coin-Operated Printing Coins with SMS-Based Notification. I give you Genevieve C. Falcone.
Welcome to the second National Conference on Innovation and Sustainable Development. I am Genevieve C. Falcon, a teacher, Department of Education, Division of Southern Leyte, Sugod National High School. I study my master's degree in Southern Leyte State University as a master in Information Technology. Here to present to you my complete paper, interactive coin-operated printing use SMS-based notification. Interactive cooperating
We apologize for the technical glitches. Once again, we are the track 2, Resources, Technology, and Products for Crisis Management. It is a strand that shall cover the different resources used to develop technologies and products that help mitigate the adverse effects of crisis. For the criteria for judging, we have here the technical, originality of idea 10 points, appropriateness of methodology 20 points, potential for the creation of new or advancement of knowledge and evidence of benefit to the area covered by the research 10 points, anticipated outcomes and impacts of the research, including potential contribution to economy and social benefits, 10 points, quality of technical paper, quality of submitted technical report, including abstract, 10 points, for a total of 60 points. For the actual paper presentation, we have here the presentation overall impact on the audience, understandability, concise reporting within given time frame, 10 points, format presentation with a clear description of the research follows given format, 10 points, researcher salesmanship, knowledge on the project, communication skills, 20 points, for a total of 40 points, with its grand total of 100 points.
Learnability. Furthermore, these study results will serve as a starting point in the possible development of commercial type interactive coin-operated printing kiosks. The printing kiosks will be deployed nearby or inside Sugod National High School, Sugod, Southern Leyte. The main objective of the study was to develop and implement coin-operated printing kiosks that is capable of offering useful and convenient printing services. Specifically, it aimed to design and develop interactive coin-operated printing kiosk with SMS-based notification. Second, determine the efficiency of GSM device as an interface of managing system errors of the printing kiosk. And the third one is determine the user's interaction level of printing kiosk in terms of accuracy, effectiveness, and learnability. By or inside National High School, Sugod, Southern Leyte. The main objective of the study was to develop and implement coin-operated printing kiosk that is an interface of managing system errors of the printing kiosk. And the third one is the user's interaction of printing kiosk in terms of accuracy, effectiveness, and learnability. For the methodology of the research design, this study employed developmental design. It has been defined as systematic study of designing, developing, and evaluating instructional programs, processes, and products of internal consistency and effectiveness for the reach 1994. With the developmental research design, the researcher design, develop, implement, an interactive coin-operated kiosks. Research respondents are the faculty, the staff, and the students of Sugod National High School. Table 1 above shows the distribution of teachers and students respondents of the study. As presented in Table 1, we have 767 respondents out of 4,139 population of Sugod National High School, comprising of teachers and students both in junior and senior high school. The two groups of evaluators in the study included the 767 identified users composed of teachers and students and 4 IT experts from Information Technology Department of Southern Leyte State University, or the CCE's IT department. For the research instrument, the data was collected through an adapted prototype demo form from Rochester Institute of Technology used by four IT experts of Elysium main campus Information Technology Department. The attribute being evaluated by this questionnaire includes functionality, performance, robustness, and workmanship of printing queues. Additionally, a modified survey form based on the criteria from Whiteside Bennett and Oswald of 1998. The usability matrix from ISO 9241 was used as the main instrument for data collection. All the items in the questionnaire were carefully examined to answer the problems. Moving forward for the data analysis, the data gathered were organized and analyzed using appropriate statistical tool analysis. Descriptive statistic weighted domain was used to determine various interaction level of printing kiosks as to accuracy, effectiveness, efficiency, and learnability based on the respondents' responses from the adapted measuring method, prototype demo form criteria by Whiteside Bennett and Halsbalt of 1998, and usability matrix from ISO 9241. For the results and discussion, the efficiency of a JSON device in managing system errors. Both teachers and students respondents indicated that the printing kiosk GSM device is very efficient. Mean is equals to 3.67 in managing system errors, as observed during the pilot testing and trial made by the respondents. These findings are likely similar to the study conducted by the EMA Computer College Engineering Department of 2020, where 45% and 40% of the respondents claimed that the efficiency of coin-operated printing machine is very satisfactory and excellent respectively. As shown in Table 4, presents that efficient of GSM device as an interface in managing system errors depicted during the actual testing and usage of printing kiosks. For the results and discussion about accuracy of the printing kiosk, teachers and students, both senior high school and junior high school students of Sugod National High School indicated that printing kiosk is accurate in printing documents based on the amount requested by the system, with an overall mean of 3.16. Respondents further stated that buttons found on the screen also denotes its real-time functionality, as what in Table 5 reveals. The respondents' responses to the interaction between the users and printing cues in terms of accuracy. Furthermore, all respondents appreciated the accuracy of printing cues' overall functionalities during the system actual testing, even if there were instances that coins inserted were recognized but were not continuously counted with coins already deposited in the coin collector. The system in general provided accurate countdown and the correct number of prints. For the effectiveness of printing kiosks, both teachers and students responded that the printing kiosk is very effective in performing its functions. Overall mean is 3.43, though the respondents indicated corrections of error in the input data as effective mean 3.17. This finding implies that the printing kiosk is very fast in viewing and processing input data and displays a very negligible error during the actual operation. It also means that respondents' expectation as to the effective of the kiosk is performing its printing task is met. For the learnability of the printing kiosk, in Table 7 reveals that respondents could manipulate the printing kiosk easily by simply following instructions provided and displayed on the screen. The overall mean of 3.65 with a descriptive interpretation of excellent signifies that the printing kiosk was very easy to use even to first-time user. This further implies that both teachers and students manipulated the printing kiosk with a very right level even without the researchers' help. For the results and discussions of prototype demonstration and evaluation for result, Table 8 evaluation result IT expert using the adaptive prototype demonstration and evaluation form. The evaluators rated functionality and robustness of the printing kiosk equals to 89%, while the performance rating is equivalent to 90%, the workmanship, on the other hand, was rated to 95%. The overall rating of the printing queues is equal to 91%. Findings further showed that the printing queues passed all the attributes being evaluated based on the results indicated by IT experts using the adaptive prototype demonstration and evaluation form by Rochester Institute of Technology. For the conclusion of the presentation, the development of printing queues can be in providing practical, instant, and convenient printing solutions on campus. The print queues will help my students from going outside of the school campus to print their project outputs and other school-related requirements. The researcher further concluded that accuracy, effectiveness, and learnability is available to users and will not benefit only the students, teachers, school, but also potential business individuals. Based on the findings and conclusions presented, it is recommended that the design of print queues be improved, such as the use of a single print paper tray for short, long, and A4 paper sizes, which is also capable of storing rims of open papers. In addition, aside from the coin acceptor, paper bill slot acceptor should be included so that it will be able to accept paper bills and provide change if the amount inserted is more than the amount requested. Further studies should also be conducted and improve the design and appearance of the printing queues ergonomically. Lastly, a more extended period of field trial is recommended to provide ample time to identify and correct all potential defects in the system. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Falcon. At this point in time, we're about to hear comments coming from Engineer Mirador Labrador. Sir, what can you say about the research presentation? Take it away, sir, in 5 minutes.
Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon. Hello,
Good
ma'am. I am on board.
Good
Okay, actually, yeah. So, to be honest, I wasn't able to compose my questions. I was overwhelmed with the flows of the paper. First and foremost, you have mentioned, as also indicated in your paper, that it is supposed to be a developmental research. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
However, however, in your paper, I could not find any methods about development of the system. So I am asking, developmental model did you use?
Pardon, sir?
What developmental model did you use in your methods?
So the developmental uses that I've been using is the HCI, or the human computer interaction, wherein it focused on my study really it focused on my study is about the interaction between the user and the machine rather.
Yeah, and it is not found in your paper, unfortunately. Then, even in your result, I could not also find any information about the system. So when I appreciate your paper, it somehow looks like you are just testing the satisfaction level of the users relative to the system that is already in existing or being developed by you.
It is
For this,
sorry, sir.
yeah.
Okay, sir.
Because the scientific anchorage is supposed to be the methods, and this is the one that is missing in your paper. And looking into the different components of your paper, in fact, from the abstract up to the result, there is an inconsistency of information. What you intend, as you imply in your title, actually was not being captured in your rationale and your methods as well as in the results. That's why, as I have told you a while ago, I wasn't able to compose a specific questions that I supposed to brought out to you right now. But in this case, rather for the betterment of your paper, I do suggest to revisit all of these one. Focus on what is really your intention. Okay. Then from that, it's supposed to be banked with a good methods and approaches, and that's supposed to be results would be anchored also on that methods relative also to your objective. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, that's all, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway,
Thank you so much po.
congratulations.
Thank you so much po, Ma'am Falcon and Engineer Labrador. At this point in time, we have here that we could consider that truly technology is made by man, but there we could say that there would be things that we cannot control, just like the intermittent internet connection. At this point in time, we are truly thankful that Sir Vincent Chua is here at our place, here at the boardroom, to answer the question which came from Professor Jonas Villas. But again, thank you so much, Professor Villas, for waiting for Vincent Chua regarding with the internet connection earlier. Thank you so much, sir. Sir
All right.
Villas.
It's okay. No, it's actually expected. In fact, right now I am also in my home because I am much confident with my internet connection at home, for that matter.
Yes, po,
But
sir.
nonetheless, Vincent,
Yes, po.
congratulations for this effort of putting up this water
Yes, sir.
extracting system for atmospheric
Yes.
air using condensation process. Now, I can see a lot of hikers perhaps would be bringing this with them as they hike up perhaps to several locations for that matter. So my question a while ago has something to do with the cost. Although I understand that there is no specific explication as to the costing of the material, can you give us a possibility of how much this material will be cost, for example, if it will be put into market?
Sir, originally the cost of the product is more than or less than or more than to 750 pesos. But since I'm the investor and then I'm the one who invented it, I must have a profit or I must have an interest so that I could sell the product at around 950 pesos to the market. But if it could be commercialized, then that 950 pesos could be lessened. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good to know that it's quite within that range. Now, so with that cost, what do you think would be its impact to the issue of poverty, for example? Because actually the idea of water extracting system from atmospheric air use is already an existing idea. And we can see companies like atmospheric water extraction, Skywater, who are actually doing large scale capacity of water extracting system in atmospheric air using condensation process. So your version is a portable. So how would it be
Yes,
used,
sir.
for example, or in what aspects will it be used, for example, in the future?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, thank you for that question, sir. The supplementary upgrading for the device was not shifted, including the solar panel. We initially want to install the solar panel to the device so that 950 pesos could be powered by the solar or electricity. And that device is 950 pesos and can cost and can be used for a lifetime. So this is the measurement of the 6 hours function of the device, and is compared to the commercially available drinking water, just like Nature Spring, with is 350 ml of water.
All right, for the battery that is being used, how many hours will it be exhausted?
Since sir, it is used to solar panel, it would not be exhausted because it only needs 12 volts for it to work.
Okay, so again,
It
these
won't
are
exhaust.
I think you understand where am I trying to go into, no, for the
Yes, sir.
for the future development of the project, because the project is really promising at that.
Yes, sir.
And of course, putting it into really a major scale of production would help a lot of the community. My last point is, if you're going to expose the device into a location that is known to be polluted in term that has known to have air pollution for that matter, would it affect the potability?
Sir, there is a filtering section so that dust particle from air and water could not be inserted to the water or the product of the water. There is a filtering section.
Okay, that's good. But what I'm trying to point out now is that maybe in your further testing, you can test also the filtration component. When you expose the product to different locations that have varying, should we say, pollution, so that we would be certain as to what is the extent of the capacity of the filtration system also, ensuring that the water that is
Yes,
collected
sir.
atmospherically will be still potable and useful. But nonetheless, congratulations, Mr. Chua, for putting up
Sir,
with,
may I add on some
yes, go ahead.
points, sir? Sir, the water should have been tested in Tacloban City, but because of the occurrence of COVID-19, we were not able to go to that city to test. But fortunately, we have bought the pH bottle, just like what I've said on my presentation, and that pH bottle gave us a passing rate at the phase 1 to pass the acidity and the pH of the water, and it passed.
Well, that's good to
Thank you,
know,
sir.
sir. That's good to know. Again, my
Yes,
point
po, sir.
is, consider other areas where you are going to collect the water, no? Because I
Yes, po, sir.
think the nature of the air or the quality of the air would perhaps have impact on the quality of the water also. Kasi you are condensing, I don't know, no, but then again, that's the whole thesis that I would like to point out, which you can test later on
Sir,
for future use.
Sir, the primarily kung saan ilalagay yung device is to the areas which has higher relative humidity, just like mountains or near the lakes or the waters, which has high relative humidity.
Yes, true enough. That's why I'm also putting that on table as a future endeavor of your team, so that we would be
Yes, sir.
able to widen and the scope of the utility of the product. Okay, because if there is
Yes, po,
water
sir.
scarcity, then I think it's difficult for everybody to run to the mountains and uh, collect water there. No, so I think that is something that for future considerations that your team can use.
Sir,
Congratulations once again.
okay po, sir. Sige po, sir.
Thank you so much, Sir Professor Villas and Sir Vincent Chua. At this point in time, we're about to give updates as to whom would be the questions be addressed, especially questions coming from our evaluators. So there will be two questions, and please indicate as to whom you're about to ask the said query or questions. Thank you so much. Of time. Since we have the luxury of time, we're about to cater some questions coming from the evaluators. To any of
If I
the
may.
presenters, so go ahead, Sir Matasa.
Okay, so my question goes to Mr. Chua, Sir Chua.
Go ahead po, Sir Chua.
Sir?
Hello, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
sir. Yes, sir.
I have some points here based on your research, because I'm quite interested in your research. But then points to ponder first is Where is your exact location for your research study?
Sir?
Where
Can
is
you hear me?
your research area of your study?
Sir, the research area of my study, just like what I've said in my presentation, it can be used or it could be placed in rural and urban areas as well. Urban
Okay.
areas.
Okay, thank you. So if
Yes
you
po,
are
sir.
going to consider the urban areas, maybe this is just a suggestion. Why you should place first the what we call check the particulate matter of the air. This could advance more on your study when it comes to filtering, before filtering.
Direct na ba? Di na nalo po, sir.
Hello?
Nabati pa. Sir,
Hello? Did you
sir,
hear
okay na
me?
po, sir.
Okay, okay.
Sir?
So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
my point maybe or a suggestion is please consider the particulate matter before doing your portable water harvester in an urban area, so that you can provide more efficient filtration of your material.
Sir, okay po, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
So did you
according
use...
to the...
Okay. You may continue.
Sir?
Okay, you may continue.
Sir, from the relative humidity, which is stated that temperature is not constant, whether it is high or low, but it is preferable that the temperature is higher so that more particles of moisture or water could be formulated.
No, my point here now is the air quality. The air quality.
Yes, sir.
Okay, at least you must provide first the particulate data, particulate matter, at least using PM 2.5. That is much good for your portable water harvester.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
sir.
One more, another one. It seems that it is solarized portable water harvester, isn't it?
Yes, sir. But the device or the upgrading of the device is not shifted.
Okay. So anyway, I've been looking on the energy analysis of your solar. You did not consider it, isn't it?
Sir?
You did not consider the energy analysis of your solar.
Oh, sir, thank you, sir, for that question. We have considered that the power of the solar, which means that 12 volts could also be used as a solar panel, just like the electricity.
Did you consider the solar radiation flux? I don't think so. It's just as simple as
sir.
energy.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
It is powered by
maybe.
work.
Okay. And lastly, did you try it at night? Did you try it to harvest water at night?
Yes, sir. Yes,
During
sir.
nighttime?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am trying to make some factors of device, which is the absorb and evaporation, water qualities, the mass between the day and the night. You have those data? Because I was
Yes, sir.
not able to find it on your paper. Do you have those data? The
Sir,
absorbed?
Opo,
All
sir.
right. Go.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you po, sir. But the device was not, just like what I've said, that device was the upgrading of the device solar. So we didn't consider being solar panel on the night time. So we've used electricity to the...
Okay. So during nighttime,
because the upgrading of the materials was not completed yet.
Kasi I'm looking on the portal. That is why I am trying to ask a while ago about the energy analysis that could commensurate the time during nighttime. But then you did not put it. Anyway, it's just okay for further study. You can have that one. The radiation
Yes, sir.
flux of the solar, that is very effective on your
Yes, sir.
portable water harvester. And lastly, I don't see any presentations between the water extraction rate and condition of incoming air. Do you have that one? The water
Sir,
extraction rate and versus condition of incoming air.
Sir, we did not consider that because our mainly objectives are to generate water through the process of condensation and to formulate it for its functionality. We
Yeah,
didn't
that is
consider that
okay.
as an our objectives.
But it should be, for further study, because it is very important that the humidity, this is the humidity, and the graph itself, just like this, you can find the humidity kilogram by per kilogram, and then the other one is the air temperature. What is the temperature of the time that you are having some condensation? So that is very important. At least
Sir,
you can
from
provide
the
the presentation on that. All right.
Sir, thank you for that question. Sir, according to the weather organization or the weather.com, the relative humidity of the Philippines rather is around a constant of 32 to 33 temperature degrees
Yeah,
Celsius.
that's true. That's
So
true.
that meaning that the more hotter the temperature can produce, this device can produce more relative humidity
Okay, thank you. But it should
or
have at
more
least
moisture in the water.
Yeah, okay. But you must provide a graph between the air, incoming air, and the humidity. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Congratulations.
po, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Chua and Engineer Amatoso, for the question and answer portion. Again, we would like to ask Professor Villas if you have any questions, even two questions to throw among the presenters of this afternoon session. Sir?
Yes, may I ask Ma'am Falcon? Falcon is still with us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I actually agree at some point with Engineer Miradorno that the nature of the methodology, which is supposed to be research and development, is not quite articulated. But let's just say on assumption that it was not just reported here. No? I think my comment that I would like to emphasize is on the use of the Likert scale that you are using for this matter. Well, why did you choose the mean to represent the response of the respondents or the collective response of the respondents on each item in the scale?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
500.
Okay, I use the Likert scale for this study for me to wait, sir, ha. Was to utilize the rate of printing kiosk performance as to accuracy, effectiveness, efficiency, and learnability of the machine or the printing kiosk.
Now, the reason why I ask that, because oftentimes kasi when we use the Likert type scale and when we present the results per item, we usually report the median over than the mean. But in the actual comparison later on, when we sum it up, we can use the mean. But in the aspect of describing it in terms of item per item, the median would be an appropriate measure there because your data is only ordinal for that matter. So I would also suggest that for the improvement of this study, now you can actually subject this to a test of proportion for that matter to ascertain really that there is no disparity between proportions. And in addition, there are only 4 panel members am I correct? 4 panel members who look at IT experts. I've seen that in your presentation. It's not actually here in the manuscript, but I've seen in your presentation a mention of 4 panel members.
Yes, sir.
Oh
So
yes, it's actually table 8.
yes, sir. So there are 4 IT experts from Southern Leyte State University main campus. So headed by the dean of the CCE's IT department or the computer studies. So yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. No, so I think there is a need for you to subject this also to a test of concordance to ascertain really that they are agreeing to the judgment, because we remember that the probability or the likelihood here requirement would be higher considering that there are only 5 judges. No, so the required agreement is high, no, for the conclusion to be ascertained for that matter. So that is one thing that you can look into. And then second, ma'am, for my last, this is the last part. How would you compare this coin-operated printing kiosk that you have developed to the one that was developed in a thesis conducted by Manalo and Visido, I suppose, in LaSalle? How different is this material with that?
Okay, so the difference between I already read that research. So the difference between the two is that in my study, so the interactive coin operated printing kiosk, so there is a SMS based notification wherein if there is a trouble of the machine, like for example the paper or machine error rather, so like for example paper jamming, out of ink, out of paper, so there is a notification from the machine to be sent to the admin or the administrator. It's yes, sir. That's all.
All right, that's really great. No, so that is something actually that we are looking in the paper to be articulated, because that will highlight the novelty of this work. Because there, you've mentioned STI, the study, the thesis conducted in LaSalle beforehand. They are all there already, and we are looking into what is new in this material, particularly that in this current times, we are shifting to remote access for that matter. And having this SMS system is a form of remote access, because you can tell without actually being there that the material or the printer is actually malfunctioning. So I think that is one thing that should be emphasized, no, at the development or the discussion on how the printing kiosk material was actually developed. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am Falcon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Falcon and Professor Jonas Villas. At this point in time, I would like to ask Engineer Mirador Labrador to throw 2 questions as to whom you would like to ask the queries or questions among the research.
Kasabot ko tapos na. Anyway, I have here a question to Sir Erwin, sir. Sir.
Yes, boss idol. Yes, sir.
Yes, congratulations, sir. I'm just enlighten me about the key nearest algorithm. You have repeatedly mentioned about the key nearest algorithm in your paper. I am just quite interested about this one because I am also working with the different algorithms on simulation modeling, specifically on data minings as I apply that one. So for this case, in your study, you use the key nearest algorithm. However, I could not find any information or data where the key nearest algorithm that you have mentioned is being utilized in your study.
Yeah.
Especially in the generation of the analytics or the results that you have. So I couldn't find that one. So it's not more on the question with the prejudice of your paper, but it's more on enlightening me on how really what is really meant by key nearest algorithm and how it would be used, something like that.
Yeah. It started when I read something about machine learning using key nearest neighbors algorithm. That's the concept of that one was I think appropriate to generating recommender module functionalities. So the KNN algorithm concept was used through the execution of the PHP string libraries and some JavaScripts to develop the recommender module functionalities. Basically to compare strings of keywords to the database. Sir.
But you did not highlight that. In your result, you did not highlight that the performance characteristic of the key nearest algorithm as used in your developed system. That's why I am quite intrigued about this one.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for that. I'm planning to include that in my phase two, in the phase two of my research paper. For I think that
Okay, that's
that
good.
information is
Congratulations, sir.
very significant. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, because that is actually the core of your, it's the novel thing of your paper, because at the macro level, your paper actually
Sir, sir.
Go ahead, Sir Labrador. Sir, I think we lost him. Thank you so much, Sir Labrador. At this point in time, we would like to say thank you and to extend our gratitude to all the 31 participants of this afternoon sessions. Wow. Thank you so much po. And of course, to our morning and afternoon sessions presenters, thank you so much po for presenting your research papers. And of course, to our evaluators of this year's iPOVCON, especially for the track 2, we have here Engineer Amatosa. Thank you so much, sir. Professor Villas, thank you so much, sir. And of course, to Engineer Labrador, thank you so much po. And of course, we would like to acknowledge the presence and for gracing this event, the DOST Region 2 of the Cagayan Valley, Ma'am Dese Simon, DOST RO2 Ma'am Di Guzman, and of course, the DOST to Ma'am Perlina. Thank you so much po. And of course, we would like to say thank you to the DOST Dalman. And of course, we would like to extend our gratitude to all the presidents, to our collaborators of this year's International Poverty Conference, all the presidents of Eastern Visayas universities and colleges. Thank you so much for the time and of course for the support regarding this big event. And to give the gratitude and of course the support coming from the different evaluators and of course coming from the host, we're proud to give a certificate of recognition among the 3 evaluators of this year's presentations. Summer State University, in partnership with Northwest Summer State University and partner collaborators, awards the certificate of recognition to Dr. Jonas P. Villas in grateful recognition for his invaluable insights and inputs rendered as expert evaluator during the 2nd International Conference on Poverty Alleviation and Sustainable Development on October 21 to 23, 2020. Given this 22nd day of October 22, signed Dr. Marilyn D. Cardoso, Chair International Poverty Conference 2020, and Dr. Benjamin L. Picayo, the co-chair of International Poverty Conference or iPOVCON 2020. Thank you so much, sir. We would like to ask Sir Villas or anything to share. Message po, Sir Villas. Thank you so much po, Sir Villas. Same certificate of recognition is awarded to Engineer Chidoro A. Amatosa Jr. for his grateful recognition and invaluable insights and inputs rendered as expert evaluator during the 2nd International Conference on Poverty Alleviation and Sustainable Development held on October 21 to 23, 2020. Given this 22nd day of October 2020, signed Dr. Marilyn D. Cardoso, Chair of International Poverty Conference 2020, and Dr. Benjamin L. Picayo, Co-Chair of International Poverty Conference 2020. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much po, sir. Another certificate of recognition is awarded to Engineer Mirador G. Labrador in grateful recognition for his invaluable inputs and insights rendered as expert evaluator during the second International Conference on Poverty Alleviation and Sustainable Development held in October 21 to 23, 2020, given this 22nd day of October 2020. Signed, Dr. Marilyn D. Cardoso, Chair of International Poverty Conference 2020, and Dr. Benjamin L. Picayo, the co-chair of International Poverty Conference 2020. Again, Sir Labrador, thank you so much po.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you so much,
for the
sir.
opportunity also.
Thank you so much po. Poverty Warriors, please click the link below for your attendance. Thank you so much po again for the participation of all the research presenters and of course to all our evaluators for gracing this big event here at Samar State University. Again, thank you so much po. As we hold in this event, let us be reminded with the words of a former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, as he once said, "Overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity. It is the protection of a fundamental human right, the right to dignity and a decent life." At the end, we all be inspired and challenged with these words and start a conversation about poverty and possibly lead to action on behalf of the humanity. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow for the third of this year's iPOVCON. Keep safe and God bless everyone. Thank you so much po. See you tomorrow for the awarding.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, SSU.